Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Baseball Digest. I'm Tony Porter from Cards and Dice TV, and today I'm here to talk to you about the value of helpers and to insist that you look into this particular helper, which is going to make all the difference in your life on so many levels. Our time here on the planet is finite. And we have only so many hours in the day. If you're a little bit younger than I am, you probably still have teenagers in the house. You definitely have some dogs. You have maybe work and a spouse and a place where you live. And all these things kind of have to be balanced and juggled so that we can spend some time with our favorite hobby, or one of our favorite hobbies, right? I have several. So today I'm going to talk to you about 5 different reasons why you need to look into and purchase this particular helper, and if you don't, I really feel that you are missing out big time. So let's start with number 5. We're talking about Digital Diamond Baseball, and I've been on the fence when it comes to Digital Diamond Baseball because there was an issue for me. There was an issue with the complexity of the input procedure, where it wasn't user-friendly at all. So I came out pretty hard with my criticism about this particular facet of the game, right? The computer program game, the software, if you will. I was definitely tough on it, and I spoke out, and I was adamant and clear that this issue had to be resolved. And I first bought it about 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago. I've been in surgery between that, so the months have gone a little bit cloudy on me. But I used it several times. I knew I had to become accustomed to it, so I understood that eventually I would learn it. Okay, but that's a separate issue from the complexity and the clumsiness of what was the game itself and the input aspect of the game itself. The data input, the results input, like a ground ball, a fly ball, a double, and clears the bases and that sort of thing. Well, but guess what, guys? They came out, and I originally purchased Volume 11, and they came 10, and they came out with Volume 11, which resolved all the issues. Now it plays like, our favorite tabletop computer games. Very simple. Ground ball 6-3. I believe you can even write ground ball 6, and that would cover it. It's user friendly with several different games, Status Pro and Stratomatic, and so on and so forth. So let's start with number 5, and that's where I am right now. And I'm talking to you about how quickly they resolved the issue, which was an issue that was outstanding to really make this game appeal to a broader market. So the great thing, number 5, is that they're really monitoring the game. They're making updates constantly. When there are issues, they look into those issues and they come up with solutions, right? And it's not only yearly, it's kind of almost monthly, and they list all the updates that they've had between the time you purchased the latest version and the present time. So this is really, really powerful and valuable because it's being monitored, and adjustments. No system is perfect. We know that. Our long-time games are in place, and we're constantly doing things to kind of tweak those and modify those games. So number 5 is that it has really good customer service, and also it monitors and tweaks and evolves. It has people that are adjusting the game and updating the game as we go. Okay, so the number 4 reason why you should definitely look into this game is that you can play it anywhere. If you travel, you can take your cards. And what I had to do when I was traveling from my previous job, I was taking cards, and I was not, I had a laptop, I had several laptops, but I had the games or the helpers that I was using uploaded into my desktops, right? And they were tracking, my season stats, my schedules, and on and on and on. So the issue was that if I went away for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days and I played 10 games or 12 games, 2 or 3 a night, depending on if I could sleep or not, I would come back home and I'd have 13 games or 8 games or 12 games to input into my helper. So I'd have to sit there and input and input and input. And now I was already halfway through the season, and I already had my stats. I played these seasons over years, right? So maybe I started a season 3 years ago, and I used my desktop for that because at that time I wasn't traveling all that much, and I didn't need to have the game installed in my laptop, right? So most everything was on 2 desktops that I have, one behind me and one in front of me. So again, when I would travel, when I would go somewhere and I wanted to play a game in the middle of the night, and I played a couple of games. I have to, should I get this? Hold on a second. And boy, I'm really glad I picked that up. That was critical for me. Yeah, you can play it anywhere. So I can take my laptop. So this is the deal. I take my cards, I take my score sheet or no score sheet at all. And that's a nice thing. You have that. I love to do score sheets. Don't get me wrong. I like to do them by hand. I like the paper and the pencil. I like all that. I'm old school, just like you are. But at the same time, I'm not going to be crippled by it. I want to move forward. I want progress, and I want to be able to do, 10 different seasons simultaneously. A helper will allow you to do that. Without it, you're not going to get through it. It's just not going to happen. So you can take your laptop and you can log in, because this is an online platform where you can log in and you can access your library wherever you go. And that's so crucial for somebody who travels, who maybe has a vacation home, or who visits family on weekends, or anything or who travels for work, anything like that. You're going to be able to access your season stats, your schedule, your rosters, your pitching rotation, your standings, your leaderboards, all that stuff wherever you go, and that can't be replaced. It really can't. So that is reason number 4 why you must look into this helper, and you're going to find out why you're going to buy this helper when we get to number 1. Now, number 3, the third reason why you definitely must look into this game, this online game helper, if you will, is the interface itself, the access to information. And it's very, very easy to kind of move around through and explore and interact with. So let's do a little of that here in this section. Number 3 is basically the interface and access to the stats, and just info in general that you'll need as you play your season. All right, so This screen is basically my postseason. As you know, if you watched my last video, which I actually did a run through of this game with Stratomatic, I'm replaying the Garbage Can Series, the American League Championship Series of 2017, when the Astros were accused of banging a garbage can, sending a message to the batter, letting him know what pitch was coming. They had a camera somewhere, and it was reading I guess the pitcher's grip inside the glove, or it was reading the signs from the catcher, on and on. So, you know, they were accused of cheating, and they were threatened. It was somewhat of a scandal, and they were threatened with being stripped of their title, and so on and so forth. 1919, you know, Black Sox scandal type thing. So I'm replaying that, and I created a 7-game series. And here it is, and let me show you a little bit. So basically, I created the series. I'm not going to do that right now, but it just lets you jump to the schedule. So I'm in game, it's 3-2 Astros, so I'm in game 6. So I'm going to jump to the schedule, and I'm going to go to a month. Actually, this is the last game I played. It was 4-1. Tanaka was untouchable, allowed only 3 hits and 1 run. Todd Frazier was the hero. He went 2 for 2 with a couple of walks and a home run, a double, and he drove in a couple of runs. So he was crucial and a very likable guy, one of the nicest guys at baseball for a long time. He's retired now, but that was Todd Frazier, played with the Reds for a long time. Okay, so let's look at fast play, the month view, because this is going to give me the next game. And the next game is going to be at Houston. So we're moving from the Bronx to Houston for the last couple of games, right? And I'm seeing stuff here. It's Houston, New York. I'm looking forward to this. Oh, here it is. Okay, these are the games I've played, I believe. These are the games I played. I'm down here. Yeah. The blue is basically unplayed again. Every time I open this up and I go in here, I'm learning. I'm giving myself some time to learn. And it's going to take a little while to really become familiar with it and navigate it with my eyes closed. You know, like anything, like any game you play, like any set of cards, like anything, the more you play it, the faster you get, the better, more comfortable, and the more you know it. So let's go here to game 6. 6 and 7 are going to both be in Houston. Minute Maid Park, and this is going to give me the lineups. Right here, the lineups. Now, I don't want those lineups. I'm going to create actual lineups, God forbid. Josh Reddick, they have him leading off. I'm going to bat him second. It's not going to make a difference. Altuve is going to stay at third. Springer is going to lead off. Correa is going to bat fourth. They have him fifth. It's really not a big deal. You know, I don't think I'm a genius because I put Reddick eighth. Against a lefty pitching, I would probably drop him eighth, but he gets dropped it to eighth when there's a lefty pitching. So that happens automatically. There's a switch hitter, Marwin Gonzalez, and he's batting seventh in this lineup. He'll probably stay batting seventh. Gaddis will probably stay batting eighth, and so on and so forth. So anyway, these are lineups that are made, auto-generated, if you will, but I'm going to kind of create my own. So I'm going to go to play. I'm going to go to execute transactions. I guess that moves players that were, if there was an injury and somebody was dropped from the roster, I guess that would do it in the postseason, or maybe not. Maybe that's for the regular season. Not totally sure. Don't really care. Here's my pitchers. This is where I'm going to change my pitchers, put the whatever pitchers I want in there. And this is the new pitch. Going to be a new pitcher for Astros. You know, and then it's going to let me set my lineups right here as well. So let me just quickly take a quick peek at Baseball Reference and the 2 starters for game 6. The Astros won at 7-1, and so it was wow. Astros were behind. Astros had to win the last 2 from the Yankees. I thought the Yankees were actually going to win this one in 2017. I was highly disappointed. Let's look down. Let's scroll down to see the actual lineups. And Severino versus Verlander. So this is going to be a heck of a game. So we're going to do Severino. And Severino was killer in 2017. He's not the Severino who's been, there he is. So Luis Severino versus Justin Verlander, who is also lights out. It's going to be a great game. This is a replay matchup of game 2, I believe. Now we're going to set the lineups. So it's super easy to use. Everything's clearly labeled. You don't have to be a computer tech savvy person to navigate this. All you have to do is open it up, open up the screens, kind of look around, and it's very user friendly. This is the number 3 reason why I highly, highly, highly recommend this. And I'm one that's been kind of was on the fence a long time about this, and I was unsure about it. But now I'm seeing that this has a huge upside, and I haven't gotten to 1 and 2 yet, which is basically mind-bending, mind-blowing. So the lineups here are on the right side. So you basically, Chase Headley, usually he's going to bat 9th. Now, this is one aspect that needs to be adjusted. They have to create a drag and drop system. It's not in place. It is not in place unless I'm doing something wrong. So this is one thing that I would say is a negative right now. But ultimately, overall, the game is definitely worth it. All right, so I'm going to make the lineups, and then I'm just going to click up here, play ball. And it's going to take, so let me do that, and then we come right back. So it's going to basically alert you as to there's a problem, there's a discrepancy with the lineup. Here, Headley is the DH. He's not at third base. I have 2 third basemen. I have Todd Frazier, and I have Headley. Headley was the DH, and he batted 9th. So this should clear up this red alert. And now we have the gray little window opens up and says play ball, so I can click on that, and it's ready to do that. So basically, you move guys up and down using the up and down system, but if this number 1 has to go to number 9, it's a little bit of a pain. I think you may be able to go in here and pop them into number 9. That may be easier than pushing them down, just clicking on this. But there has to be a drag and drop system. It would be the best and easiest way to do this. Again, it doesn't seem to be working, or it does that is not a feature of this game. That's the only downside. But otherwise, as you can see, it's very easy to create. Now you go to play ball. I have both my lineups in there the way I want them. I'm going to go to play ball. And here it is. Here's your screen. You're going to have information is going to pop up here on this side. You have your menu with access to everything here. Welcome to Minute Maid Park for a postseason game. The play-by-play is excellent. The Yankees are 2-3. The Astros are 3-2. The starting pitcher for New York is Luis Severino. The starting pitcher for the Astros is Justin Verlander, 1-0. And it's the top of the first. And here you have your menu. It shows you all your outfielders. It shows you the park. It shows you all your outfielders, your batter. It gives you real life and simulated information on average, on base percentage, slugging, and OPS. Here you have Justin Verlander's stats. You have his real life stats, his sim stats had I played the whole season, and you have his postseason stats right here. He started 2 games. This is the second game, obviously. He's got 8 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks in that first game. Against Brett Gardner, here it gives you all his stats. At the bottom, you're going to have your mini lineup, and it's Gardner, Judge, Gregorius, Sanchez, Bird, Castro, Hicks, Frazier, and Headley. Here's your defensive pen, and for the Astros in, I guess home is on the right side, I guess. It's the orange, and then, of course, the blue would be the defensive pen, the defense and the pen for the Yankees. And here you have your menu, which you're going to go in here, and you got your options, board game commands, your bench coach, your box score. This is really nice, and I wanted to show this. This is the last thing I'm going to show. Now, here's your newspaper box score. These are the ones that we saw as kids. We'd open up the daily newspaper, and you look at all the box scores to see what all your favorite players did around the league. These look really cool. I like the font, and it's very easy to read, very simple. And I think it has, in the old days, it didn't have average. I remember not knowing the average till Sunday. Sunday listed all the average for all the players, and I'd read, the 600-700 players and try to, look for my favorite players and see how they were doing. Anyway, but nowadays the box scores all have the average of the player. So, this one looks like the average for the game, not for the postseason. Total is 215. I guess this is a total. I guess it would go by the day. This will be the average for the day, I imagine. Anyway, here's an extended box score so you'll know more. This gives you doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, intentional walks, and so on and so forth. So this is more information about how the player is doing. It gives you fielding information, his chances, his putouts, his assists, his errors, and so on and so forth. Now, for games like Stratomatic, and for almost every game, you get at some point you're going to need a scorecard. And here it's going to give you basically a scorecard style record of what's going on in the game. So you can look at the fifth, and if that's his point of weakness, you can see, in the sixth inning who he lets on, and then in the seventh inning, if he lets a couple of guys on, then he becomes tired, fatigued, and then the bullet takes effect. So you definitely need to look at your scorecard throughout, and so on and so forth. And of course, this is your play-by-play, the same thing that comes up on the screen, and then your scoring plays. So it's only going to list the 3 scoring plays if the score is 2-1. So you don't have to go through everything. You don't have to go through the whole play-by-play to find your scoring plays. So it's a good little recap. It's all there. It's all very easy to access. There's a ton of stuff here to look through, and that's it for number 3. So really, the sheer quantity of access to so many different informational metric stats and easy access to lineups and just overall it works, for sure, and it's easy to navigate. It's all fairly common sense, and so that's number 3. So ultimately, how in real estate it's location, location, location. Well, the number 2 reason why you definitely must look into this game and purchase this game is content, content, content. So check this out. Basically, a new library. If I want to open up a new library, of course I'm going to name it. Let's see, install a library. I click that, and check this out. I didn't want to do that, but I did it. Please wait. So Great Teams League. It's installing Great Teams League. So I'm going to have 2 libraries on here. And it tells me to wait. Now, I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. It's in there, and I can delete it. So that's not a problem. So let's restore back up. Install library. Let me go back there, and let me click on this little arrow. Take a look at this. So 210, decade all-time teams. 2000, decade all-time teams. 1990, decade all-time teams. 1980, decade all-time teams. 2023, real-time. You want to play a 2023 game? Well, you can do it. I understand how, just like Baseball Reference does it. It's probably aligned with Baseball Reference and the averages and home runs and all that. But you got the 22 season, the 21's playoff library, season library. Oh, I didn't even know they had a playoff library. Oh, I wondered, did they have a 2017 season library? Okay. Season library in 2017 is the one that I'm using, and I just created a postseason, 2016, 2015. So if you bought 10 seasons with APBA, it would cost you upwards of $800. If you bought 10 seasons with Strat, it would cost you upwards of around $600 to $700. And same on the computer. I mean, individual seasons on the computer are, $25 each, $27 each, whatever it is. Here you get 2006, 4, 2, 1, 2000, 99, 98, 97. You want to play the 2001 season. You want to play the 1998 season. You want to replay the 1990 season, the 1988 season, 86, 83, 1980 season. You want to replay that, 77, 76. You want to replay 1974. You want to do 67. You want to do them all at the same time. You can do that. You can replay them using the computer. It'll play it automatically, or you can do it using cards and dice and use this system as a helper. You want to replay 64 and Sandy Koufax. You know, you want to do Aaron in 59, the Fence Busters. You want to do, 1941 season, Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. You want to do the 20s and the 30s with Babe Ruth, all the way to, then it's here 1920, you have a little, it jumps to 1909, 1908, then you have fictional rookies, 19-year-olds, fictional rookies, 20-year-olds, fictional rookies, 21-year-olds. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. So number two, the second reason why you must look into this game and go into your wallet and invest in it, because if you don't, you're making a big mistake. Your life is going to be 1,000 times better. And is the content. Like I said, content makes a huge difference, right? But finally, if the amount of content and the quality of the product and the infinite possibilities of the product does not align to a price point, if I told you this is you can't put a price on the amount of fun and entertainment that they're offering in this game helper. All right? In this tabletop gaming helper. Remember to subscribe to my channel and to get more interesting stuff like this video. Finally, the number one reason, let's look at what that is. All right, so the number one reason why you're a fool if you don't pick up this online helper and you don't at least spend some time trying to learn it, and you don't at least purchase it and have it and mess around with it almost as, even if you don't use it, just have it, because the price for everything that I presented today is $24.99. You pick it up at the Digital Diamond Baseball store, $24.99. If you went and bought the cards for APBA for all these seasons, it would easily cost you, $8,000. For Strat, easily cost you more than $7,000. You get everything here that you could ever want. There's a couple of seasons early on that aren't there yet, for $24.99. That's the number one reason. And what is $24.99? Basically, less than a cup of coffee a month, all right, for the year. For less than a cup of coffee, 1 cup of coffee a month for the year, right? You can buy, how many seasons was that? 20, 40, 60, 80, over 100, easily over 100 seasons. I'm just doing it quickly off the top of my head. You're buying access to 100 seasons, which now you can start using. You can start having 10 different replays going at once. You can pick and choose the games you want to play. There's guys out there that are in our hobby that actually do that, right? They pick and choose the games they want to play, and they play those matchups. They use cards and dice. They film their dice rolling, and they go over the rules, and they replay it that way. You'll be able to do that using this, so you can pick a 1988 season or 1982 season and 1973 season. You can play a season in every single decade, have them all happening at once, travel around, access them. You'll take the cards that you need to replay those. And this is going to open up a world that you cannot imagine is accessible to you, right? We'll never be able to replay as much as we want to replay using paper and pencil and keeping stats by paper and pencil. No matter how much you love keeping stats, you can still keep stats. Nobody is telling you can't do what you love to do. But with this helper, it's like instead of walking to work, you're driving your car. Nobody tells you you're not going to be able to take a walk when you get home from work or from wherever, right? You're still going to be able to walk, but you're going to have access to a car in case you have to load it up with groceries, in case you have to pick up a new appliance, in case you have to take the dogs to the vet. You're going to use your car for that. Well, that's what a helper ultimately is. It's access to a technology to that's going to allow you to have fun, 10 times more fun at least. And there's no speeding through this. In other words, I have replays that have been going on for a long time. I think I just finished one that I started 2 years ago. And sometimes I'll be in the last month and I'll say, okay, I'm going to finish this month. I have one with 6 weeks to go with Fall Classic Baseball, my 1959 replay. I didn't start it with this. That was, of course, my mistake. But I did start it with Replay PC Game, which is also a good product for sure. Also a good product, but I can't sell it the same way as I can sell this. And when I say I'm selling it, I'm sharing out something that I think is amazing, right? I have no monetary investment or gain any monetary advantage, but I definitely want you guys to be able to be aware of this and have access to this and have this grow and become an important part of our hobby, because it's going to open up a world that is not open to you right now. Right now we're limited, we're handicapped, we're walking around on crutches, we're in a walker, we're in a cane, we're in a wheelchair right now with the way we're doing things. If you're just replaying one season, doing paper and pencil, and you've been doing it for the last 6 years, but now you can play 10 different seasons, have them all going on at once. If you don't feel like playing 1973 this week, don't. Play 1964, play 1951, play 1941, play 1930. All right, and you play that for a month, and then, but guess what? All the data, all the stats, and all the rosters, and all the schedules, and all the standings will be in place waiting for you. So when you decide you want to go back to replaying your 2001 season, it's going to be there for you. This is the number one reason why you should definitely purchase this product, and I believe you're a fool if you don't. It's $24.99 for the whole year. You know that, and I complained about this because I had 2 months before they switched over from 10 to 11, or 3 months before that, I bought it for $25. Ultimately, it didn't really matter. I was just being, stubborn, right? A stubborn okut about it. Ultimately, it's not any money at all. I spend more at the craft beer place around the corner from my house, in an afternoon than what the $24 that this company charges. So $24.99 is the price, and that's the number one reason. And the reason I made that number one is because regardless of how much great content, regardless of how much the product is, how great the product is, how the interface is, how the customer services and updating of the product, right? No matter how great the content is, right? And the navigating of the access and the user friendliness of it, no matter what, if this was, $1,200, I could not recommend. I cannot recommend it. I could not tell you, okay, go out and spend $1,200 on this product. So the number one reason why you should buy this amazing product is the price. Ultimately, it's only $24.99, and you can use it the way it is right now. They'll be doing monthly updates all the time. There's that 1 year, I believe this is how it works from what I've heard. Once a year, they're going to update to the next version, which doesn't really eliminate this version. So I can still use my 10, and I still have access to my volume 10, right? I'm not using it anymore, but I have access to it, and you can continue to use 11. Obviously, it's good that they change. It's good that they update. It's good that they improve, and they will continue to do that. And that's it. So this is basically the 5 reasons why you should definitely buy this baseball internet game and use it as a helper. If not, just use it as an internet game. I think it's a great product. I think it's very, very worthwhile. And this is Tony Porter for Tabletop Baseball Digest. Remember to like and subscribe my channel and comment. It's okay. We can have interaction. And remember to join Universal Baseball Association on Facebook. Remember, it's all its affiliated groups. It's got about 10 different affiliated groups. We have great content. We have RJL on there. We have Kurt Berglund on there. We have a bunch of other guys that share their results, and it's all about having fun. It's all about baseball. It's all about enjoying our hobby, and that's all, guys. Take care. I will see you soon.